chance to hear it, so let her tell it. People on the streets say Sabrina speaks. Tune into the show, she will let you know. Tell all your friends and family. Real talk is no joke. You get the news straight up from grassroots and concerns. You hear some people gone. So tell all your friends to tune in to
Good
the
evening,
show.
Cayman. I'm Sabrina Turner, and welcome to Sabrina Speaks, your daily dose of clarity, truth, and community insights. Every weekday from 5 to 6:30 p.m., we're tackling the issues that affect you, from national headlines to grassroots concerns. Whether you're in traffic or winding down your day, this is your chance to hear it straight and speak your truth. So buckle up, Cayman. We're not holding back.
This is the show. We gotta let you know. Now we got to go.
And now here's Sabrina.
Family near and far, how you doing? Hi. Welcome to another episode of Sabrina Speaks, Voices of the Islands, yes. Conversations for the world and the podcast where voices rise, stories unfold, and inspiration takes center stage. I am Sabrina, and I'm just so happy, so thankful, so blessed that, I'm still here and to see another week, quite productive for me. And yeah, lots going on. But you know what? It's open mic Friday here on Sabrina Speaks, and we've stepped into the first day of spring, hopefully for each of you with fresh energy. We may not really be big on season shifts here in the tropics, yes, and I'm proud to say we live in the tropics, but we feel definitely a shift and a change in the breeze, we even see the difference in our plants. For all of you plant lovers and all of you farmers out there, and also the vibe is a little different. So in this episode, really and truly, what's most important is that it's an open mic, and I want to hear from you. Maybe it's covering this week's standout headlines, I don't know, or local stories that may spark conversation or stand out to you. And with everything that's happening regionally and global as well, something that everybody may be talking about or that is bugging you on your mind. The key is the mic is open. Yes. And I encourage you to call in, comment, jump in live on the conversation. 345-936-8255 is the number to call as we head into the weekend here. Yeah, that's right. It's open mic Friday, first day of spring. And your voice, and this is your platform. But remember, the content you're about to hear, including any discussions or opinions from myself, guests, and our participants, is intended solely for general, informational, and entertainment purposes. It's not a substitute for professional legal, medical, or financial advice. So I encourage you to consult with a qualified professional regarding any specific concerns. Bridge Media Limited and all its affiliates disclaims all liability for any decisions or actions taken in reliance on the information presented. Yes. Good evening, one and all. As you continue to just drop on in, please remember to share the link. Yes. And follow and subscribe so you don't miss an episode right here. For all of you who are making weekend plans, why not tell you what's in the weather so that you can definitely know. Thank you for our guys over there at the Cayman Islands National Weather Service so that you can plan your weekend coming up. Yeah. Now, the synopsis calls for fresh northerly winds along with moderate to rough seas are expected as a high pressure system builds over the southeast United States and tightens the pressure gradient across the Northwest Caribbean. Some swells and waves activities are likely to continue along the northern and western coast. Now, a small craft advisory is in effect, and radar imageries shows isolated showers in and around the Cayman area moving south. The forecast for tonight calls for partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers. Temperatures will fall near the low to mid 70s. Winds will be north to northeast at 10 to 15 knots with higher gusts. Seas will be moderate to rough with wave heights of 4 to 6 feet with northwesterly swells. Tomorrow calls for mostly fair skies with a 20% chance of showers. Temperatures will rise near the low 80s. Winds will be northeast at 10 to 15 knots with higher gusts, and seas will be moderate to rough with wave heights of 4 to 6 feet with northwesterly swells. There will be a high tide at 10:54 this evening and a low tide at 4:46. The sun will set this evening at 6:35 and sun will rise tomorrow morning at 6:28. The outlook is for continued moderate to fresh winds along and with moderate to rough seas over the weekend, with a decrease in these conditions by Monday as the associated high pressure system weakens. Now, a small craft advisory will remain in effect tomorrow and through the weekend. So there you have it. Thank you for providing this information and this forecast for our friends over there at the Cayman Islands National Weather Service. Now, let's take a look because we got lots of information. I want to turn the mic over to you, definitely, but we got to keep you in the know with what's happening in the news, not only locally, but regionally and around the world. Let's keep it local and let's get started. Now, the government has reaffirmed its commitment to transparency with the release of the official summary from the March 12th cabinet meeting. The update outlines several key decisions, including approvals for new public roads in Frank Sound and West Bay, the adoption of Hemington Forest Management Plan, and the denial of an exemption under the Immigration Transition Act. The cabinet also noted the reconstitution of the Mass Migration Committee. Now that we've gotten that update, let's take a look at what's also making other news waves across the Cayman Islands. Keeping it going. In honor of International Women's Day, the Minister for Finance and Economic Development, Honorable Ralston Anglin, made a special visit to the women of his ministry this week. The minister presented each team member with a token of appreciation, recognizing the important work that they carry out every day. He also highlighted his understanding of their vital contribution to the ministry, to the wider government, and to the Cayman Islands as a whole. The gesture formed part of ongoing efforts to acknowledge and celebrate the role of women across the public sector. And in other Cayman news, the Cayman Islands representatives to the United Kingdom, Dr. Tasha Ebanks Garcia, joined distinguished leaders in London this week for the 15th Annual International Women's Day luncheon hosted by the Christian Embassy. Dr. Tasha was accompanied by fellow overseas territories representatives from the Turks and Caicos Islands, the Falkland Islands, St. Helena, and Gibraltar. Now, the event brought together women in leadership for meaningful reflection on progress made and the work still ahead. A highlight of the luncheon was a keynote address by Baroness Stroud, who encouraged attendees to think critically and hopefully about the future of women's advancement. Now, more in local news for today. We turn our attention over to the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service, having now confirmed and arrested and charged with attempted murder and assault, grievous bodily harm of a 40-year-old woman from West Bay in connection with a serious domestic incident. Police say on March 5th, officers received a report that a man and woman known to each other were involved in an altercation at a bar off Shedden Road. During the incident, a man was struck by a vehicle driven by the woman. The incident is believed to have occurred on the evening of Saturday, the 28th of February. Investigations later revealed the man sustained severe leg injuries and was taken to the hospital for treatment. The woman has since been arrested and now charged with attempted murder and assault, causing grievously bodily harm, and remains in custody. As we continue with our local news this evening, the Department of Agriculture has issued an important notice advising customers and stakeholders of a change to its payment process. Effective immediately, the main reception area will accept card payments only for several key services. These include rabies vaccinations, import and export permits for plants, seeds, animals, and aquatics, farmers' identification applications, and renewals, as well as animal adoptions and collection fees. Now, the department says cash will no longer be accepted at the reception area as part of efforts to improve efficiency, enhance customer service, and provide safer, more secure payment options. Now, clients are encouraged to arrive prepared with a debit or credit card to ensure smooth processing. Now, motorists and pedestrians may have noticed activity around the historic Louise Llewellyn House in Georgetown. The nearly 200-year-old Caymanian cottage has been prepared for relocation. But officials say there is no cause for concern because the National Trust confirms the home will be moved to Bobby Thompson Way roundabout through an agreement with the Ministry of Youth, Sports, Culture and Heritage and the 1GT developers. A removed back wall was modern cement, not historic, and the original wattle and daub structure will be preserved on Crown land. Now, the move is being jointly funded by 1GT and the Cayman Islands government with support from key agencies. There we have it. And congratulations are in order for a group of talented 8-year students from John Gray High School. The team has taken first place at the Clifton Hunter Invitational Math Competition, outperforming schools from across the islands. The achievement highlights the students' strong problem-solving skills and the dedication of their teachers who helped prepare them for the event. A proud moment for John Gray High School and a great showcase of Cayman's young academic talent. Yes, congratulations to our young men and women, to you from all of us here on Sabrina Speak. Now, definitely keeping it in the region, guess what? In Jamaica, the national minimum wage is set to another increase. Yes, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has announced that the rate will soon move to $17,000. The adjustment forms part of the government's ongoing efforts to address the cost of living pressures and improve earnings of lower income workers. Now, further details on this implementation timeline are expected to be released by the Jamaican authorities in short order. Yes, and over to the British Virgin Islands. Yes, they're holding firm on their partnership with Cuban medical professionals, even as some Caribbean nations scale back their partnerships amid national pressure. The BVI Ministry of Health has confirmed it will maintain its agreement with Cuba despite calls to distance themselves amid the U.S. sanctions campaign. For small island states facing doctor shortages and raising healthcare demands, Cuba's support remains critical. The BVI says its decision prioritizes the needs of its people over political pressures. Yes, yes, yes. We're not stopping there because we're taking it all over to Barbados. Yes. Over in Barbados, Prime Minister Mia Mottley has confirmed that construction on the long-promised flyover will finally begin this year. Speaking in Parliament on Wednesday, the Prime Minister said the project is part of an aggressive national push to ease chronic traffic congestion and improve productivity across the island. Now, the flyovers are expected to be completed within 18 months once work begins, marking one of the most significant infrastructure upgrades in Barbados in recent years. Yes, yes, yes. There we have it. That's what you can see happening within our Caribbean region. And definitely, you know how it goes here with us in the Cayman Islands. Good evening to one and all who is joining us. It's so good for you to be here with us this evening on Sabrina Speaks. It is my pleasure to be here with you. Yes, 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 one and all. How has it been going for you this Friday? Hope you're having a wonderful day. Yes, and we want to close off. I thought it was important for me to share this with you, especially this particular bit as we close off this evening segment. And we're going all the way to Kenya. Yes, I said it. A remarkable story of innovation is capturing global attention because a farmer named Martin Namaskas has turned simple Wi-Fi router into a mobile business providing low-cost internet access to people who struggle with high price of traditional data plans. To launch the venture, Martin sold part of his harvest to buy the equipment and safety gear he needed. He now straps the router to his helmet and travels through busy streets and even boards local buses, acting as a human hotspot for commuters and residents. While his daily earnings are modest, his creativity is bridging the digital divide in a powerful way. Now, Martin's story shows how determination and simple technology can come together to deliver essential services and expand opportunity within a community. Now that concludes Sabrina Speaks news headlines for this evening, and I hope if you didn't knew about it, you've heard about it from right here, and it just shows. Look at that, how he has become an entrepreneur just like that. Kudos to him. Now that's entrepreneurial. That's entrepreneurial opportunities on steroids is what I would actually call it. What are your thoughts on that? There we have it. Let's take a look at our community calendar. Please remember, if you don't have anything planned for tomorrow evening, that Red Sky at Night is happening from 4 to 11. Yes, that's tomorrow on the Harkwell Theatre grounds, where there'll be lots to take in. Yes, lots of people to see as well. Live music and entertainment, local arts and crafts and products, local food as well. And there will also be a kids' corner. Something everybody can actually go out and join. And if these winds keep up and it's just like this, it should be a wonderful evening. So I'm hoping to at least pass through down there at some point tomorrow evening, hoping to see you all there as well. And we got to keep a reminder that nominations remain open of the Proud of Them Youth Awards is back, and it's looking for new inspiring stories. Please log on to youthservices.ky, Proud of Them. If you know a young man or a woman who's making a significant in specific areas, and nominate them. And this one just caught my eye just before coming on. Yes, if you want to give of time, give of your service, the Ministry of Social Development and Innovation is inviting persons who may want to express an interest in serving on the National Council for Persons with Disabilities. Yes. So the Ministry of Social Development Innovation is inviting expressions of interest for appointment to the National Councils for Persons with Disabilities. And that's in accordance with the Section 3 of the Disabilities Solomon Webster's Act of 2016. Now, please note, if you are interested and want to be a part of this council, the deadline is for March 30th. So you just go on to their website and they will actually tell you what to do. But I thought that was good for all of you who says, oh, if you're not a part of this particular group or that particular group, they choose you. This is putting out public for anyone who may want to actually serve on a council. You have the opportunity. Just get in, show your interest by March 30th, and who to tell? You may actually be selected. But good evening, everyone. Happy birthday to everybody who's celebrating birthdays today, anniversaries, you're celebrating life, you're celebrating spring. I am, definitely. And for those persons, again, who are feeling the loss of a loved one, our thoughts and prayers are with you during this difficult times as well. Good evening, Marshall. Happy Friday to you, my sweet. How are you? Hope you're having and looking forward to the weekend. You had an early weekend, or have you gone to work since? It's so good to see you. Hey, Andrew, good evening to you. Happy Friday. And yes, to the Cayman Islands as well. Damian Henry is in the house. Good evening. And what's the words of today? What's your quote for today? Life has no remote. Get up and change it yourself. That one brings a chuckle. Lighthearted for a Friday too as well. Good evening, Connie. How are you, my sweet? Happy Friday to you. Kinder, gentler world. That's the whole idea. Good to see you as always. Yes, yes, yes. Barbara G is also in the house. Now, definitely, you want to jump into the live? The number and the phone lines are wide open. It's Open Mic Friday right here on Sabrina Speaks. I try to get all the housekeeping out of the way so that we can just have it based on wherever you want to take it. And I feel it's important for us to share those news. Sometimes it's just so much. I could probably do an hour on just news and dissect them, but who wants to do that? Because this is our space. This is your space. But it's Open Mic Friday right here on Sabrina Speak. And I want to hear from you. Yes, yes, yes. I'm great with my orchids holding a meds. Nice for you. That must be so therapeutic. And everywhere you go in your house, Connie Bonnie, from what you shared with us, it must be so, so relaxing. And yeah, with the weather being the way it is today, kudos for you. For all of you plant lovers out there, my peace lily, the flower has come up really, really nice. Oh, shucks, I didn't take a picture. Anyhow, I promise you I'll post it up over the weekend because I know you guys are always looking. I'll post it up to show you from last week how it looked to today. And I'm expecting for it to flower hopefully sometime next week. I'm excited for that one. Yeah, the things we get excited over. Must be age, isn't it? No, you know why for me personally? Because normally I kill these things. And I'm realizing now that I have a green thumb. So that's really, really interesting. I know. I know how I feel. Oh, look at my friend. Melita's in the house. Hey, y'all. Good evening, everyone. How are you? What's on the menu for today, Melita? Happy Friday. Hope you're looking forward to the weekend, and I'm wishing you a good one, hoping you had a good week as well. Yeah, but what's in store for you guys in the weekend? Just share it. Tell me what you got planned. Let me just go back to a story. Hey, beautiful, handsome Jimbo. How you doing, my sweet? Lots of love when Jimbo rolls in, Competition between me, him, and Connie. He just greedy. That's all that is. But lots of love between the two of us. Let me go back to one story here, and I want to get your opinion and feedback on this, please. I would really love. This is not by any means. I get it. I get it. One of the stories that I shared in the local segment as well. This one. Anybody recognize this house? You know where this is? Well, you may not recognize it now because they're preparing to move it. But this house used to belong to Miss Louise Llewellyn. And anyone knows me know that this is pretty much considered my front yard where I raised up on Elgin Avenue. And Alfred is actually to the right of my screen. And, this is just a one-off event when you look at this. And I understand, trust me, please don't get me wrong about me progress and growing, and I got a gripe with it. People can do what they want to do with their own land. But what I'm trying to say, this is not just a one-off event, guys. It is a preview of the choices, Cayman will face again and again as we continue to grow. Now, I have to be honest, like I said earlier, people have the right to sell their land. Families change, circumstances change, and no one can dictate what a property owner should do or shouldn't do. And that's the reality. It is what it is. But there's still another reality as well, because what we're seeing here is Cayman's heritage sites the old homes, the traditional architecture, the places that hold our stories. I got lots of stories that they don't replace themselves. And once they're gone, even though this is not being demolished, it's going to be relocated. What I'm saying is the face of what we know as that little area right there, and what left now is Alfred's house. They're gone. So we're really living in this tension between private rights and public memory, between development and also identity. And this isn't about stopping progress. Please do not misread me. It's about asking how we shape it. It's about whether we have sufficient policies or incentives, the community will and long-term vision to protect pieces of Cayman that matters most. I know the National Trust is preserving this and that sort of stuff, but let's look at the bigger picture. You understand? And while still allowing families and investors to move forward with their plans. So as we watch literally before our eyes in real time, this 200-year-old home being carefully moved to safety, to its new home, the bigger question for all of us is really, at the end of the day, what kind of Cayman do we want to leave behind? And how do we protect the stories and the spaces, the spirit that built this place without standing in the way of people's rights or even our country's growth? It's a very, to be honest with you, it's a very delicate dance we're playing here. These are not easy questions that I'm just throwing out here. They're thought-provoking for a reason, but they're necessary ones as well. Because if we don't talk about them, I could be honest with you, we may make up one day and just realize Cayman that we remember only exists right now in photographs. And that, my friends, is becoming a reality right now. Yeah, we're seeing that happening right now. So when you look at this, I can remember before they took off this front porch, sitting down on that front porch with Weeze. Her proper name is Louise Llewellyn. I used to call her Weeze. She had two, one guinea tree is right in the back here. And she had another one that was like a dwarf. Sweetest guineas. I mean, sweet. And she used to often, the yard was sand, white sand yard. And she would often pull her chair and sit under that get-up tree, and especially when she would bear. And Weeze would be out there with, I could see her now with a washcloth over her shoulder. And she always used to keep her hair in China bump, salt and black pepper. And she would have her legs locked in those fold chairs with this silver frame. And as a child, I used to go through there. Cynthia Sterling House was where Piccadilly is now. And I used to use a shortcut there to cut behind the Latter-day Saints Church, where that is still standing now, to go to the house where I raised up in Sims Lane. So you can't tell me I don't have fond memories of this place. And now to see this leaving, I understand progress, because the reality is coming. That footprint right there, my family people, land is going to probably be impacted at some day as well. But there's a lot of memories here. She used to have the floor on the porch paint gray, and the steps, 2 steps that go up on it with a nice railing. And I used to sit there. No hammock, though. Interesting. We must be never liked a hammock. But there wasn't no hammock on that front porch. There were just chairs strategically placed that she could see the little footpath that is now a road, and used to be a footpath back in the day. And yeah. But what is your take on that? It is going to be very interesting how Georgetown actually turns out, seeing all of these changes that obviously we can't stop. Andrew says, As we are in March and celebrating Women's Month, I just want to say that we need to acknowledge how important women are to our society. Value as mothers, business women with their deeper insight and perspectives. Without women, we wouldn't have continuity of life. You're so right. Thank you so much, Andrew. So sweet of you. Thank you for sharing that to all women. Yeah, that hits deep. Melita says, pure cooking for me. Pure cooking for me this weekend, Dee. Pigtails and beans, curry, goat, child. Somebody's gonna get hungry. Oh, Marshall is saying he just left work, so you're on your way home. What a weekend. Yes. That house should be left as a landmark, Damien Henry said. Damien, it's funny that you say that because that's a toss-up right now. Well, it's gone. The place is sold. The place is sold. It's going to be removed. So that is history. That's done. Whoever has the opportunity to see that house there or what's remaining of it right now before it moves, that'll probably be the last 2026. It will be the last image that you have of it in 2026. But it's the same thing that stands out about the government admin building, Glass House, that we know it as, because that's the debate as well. So the future with all of these historic sites and buildings, I remember the days of postcards. The Glass House was one of the signature postcards that people used to purchase. You could go into all of the drugstores and all of the stores out on the waterfront, and you could see postcards from the Cayman Islands. And one of those postcards were that actual building, the Glass House. And the house as well in West Bay, as you get in just before the four-way, that old Cayman style house used to be pink and white, beautiful, lined with conch shells and white sand. It was beautiful. Almost wanted to look like a little dollar house. But those were key things. Of course, you had the blowholes and the bluff as well. But these were key things on postcards. But now who do postcards when you could actually do a selfie and video and post instantly to your family, let's say across the world, if you're here on a cruise or you're visiting. But there was something different, how things have changed. And I just thought it was important for me to throw that out. Like, really, when you look at these things and how they're changing, it's like we don't have control. And when you look at property rights that are here in the Cayman Islands, the Cayman law strongly protects private property rights. You can't tell an owner really what to do because families really, once you hold the title for that property, they have full authority to sell, develop, or pass down to the land to who they choose, unless it's automatic acquisition or compulsory acquisition, like what we're seeing is being right now going through the courts, red spot for Fisherman Bay, however you remember it as, where the fish place is next to Cabana. But outside of that, the properties that we have here, like these, you really have very little control over what happens to them. And people have every right to make decisions about their land. That's a cornerstone of Cayman's legal system and our way of life. So it's going to be interesting as that particular case about Red Spot develops as well, understanding the national importance, the historical ties to it, but the fact that it's not government-owned land is where the tug of war is becoming, preserving culture, preserving that location, which it's not that you can pick up that beach or that site and put it someplace else. That's a total different beast. But the mere fact is that there are Caymanian laws that are strongly enshrined and put in place to protect people's private properties, and they have every right to do as they so please. So not to compare the two, but I'm just saying at the end of the day, it will be interesting how it plays out, because we have said it here many a times that nothing is bulletproof. Nothing is bulletproof. Anything and everything can be challenged if you have the funds and you want to do what you want. You can. Jim says Cayman will be a cement jungle. It's all about the money. At some point, yes, but even with architecture and where we want to go from a historical, cultural standpoint, I think this conversation came up here before when we had Mr. Samuel Jackson on. once where he said, that there could, if we could maintain elements that keeps it within tropical, cultural, certain elements that is relative to us, that, those are things from a national perspective that could be used. But everything now we're seeing is modern. We don't even look like a tropical island. You see, even some of the building colors are all neutral for whatever reason. And there's something different about going to islands where there are just different colors on buildings. I'm not saying being bold and loud and all that sort of stuff. I mean, to each his own. But there's just something that speaks tropical about an island. But yeah, it is something. Melita said, our tourists are so thirsty for our heritage, they keep asking for it. Yeah, goes back to what I'm saying. They pull up here, they see all of these high rise, they see everything modern, and then they're looking for, where's the island? I've come from a city and I'm seeing it's no different almost to some of them. And yeah, I have family and friends who work in the tourism industry, in the retail, and they are hungry for it. So Melita, you said it right. They're thirsty, they're hungry, and they want to see. But when we keep moving things like this, and sometimes, you know what, Melita, growing up around there, the tourists used to sometimes stumble and walk before Piccadilly was even developed. I can go way back. And sometimes they used to use a little footpath by my grandmother. My grandfather had a cow there, and you should see these blooming tourists taking pictures with the cow. There were lots of fruit trees behind the Latter-day Saints church, and they would see fruits that they wouldn't normally see from where they're coming from. And the flora, the different flowers and stuff, we would find them all the time in my grandmother's place, or using the footpath that would come out to Truth for Youth School, go down by Miss Kippy Lane, where 1GT now sits. And they would actually wander around there, and they would take pictures of all of the stuff. They don't see that anymore. It doesn't exist. Avocado trees, the chalamello tree, the hog plum, the yellow plum trees, the red plum trees, the breadfruit. These people were just mesmerized by breadfruit. And there was so much in that little area with there and these berries, soursop, sweetsop. There used to be lots of fruits in that area until Piccadilly was built. And when they were drilling the shaft for that elevator, that brought a whole heap of salt water up out of the ground. And it came all the way back almost to Marja Pearson them house, where 1GT is right now. And literally everything there died. Everything. The pears, the Neesberry trees, the breadfruit trees, coconut trees, everything died. Yeah. And that's, unfortunately, what development brings sometimes in certain areas. And here we are now, with this now being sold, as stated, to 1GT as well. Looks like they're going to buy out the whole pad. This now is gone. So there is a cost for development. And what I'm sharing with you is not second or third hand. This is what I've lived, because my family still lives and owns down there right now. And we know it's only a matter of time before the development actually knocks on our doors, but it is what it is. Andrew says, I guess we will not be smelling cassava cake, stew turtle cooking on the caboose in Georgetown anymore, as our heritage and culture slowly fades away into oblivion. Darling, that been gone a long time ago. Because even during our national events, you're smelling the smokes of jerk more than you are smelling coconut oil and fried fish and fritters and that sort of stuff. You're smelling jerk more than you are, unless you go to a particular stand, and there are, of course, the chafing pans, because they have to prep this food and stuff like that. But I get exactly what you're saying. But you're quite right. Where can you really go right now in central Georgetown, or in town, unless you go up to Shedden Road and you know where to go to get a home traditional meal. There's really nowhere that's selling that sort of stuff. So that is pretty much gone already, Andrew. I would agree with you. Jim says growth is inevitable. However, rules and designs could have been a lot stricter and still felt and looked Caribbean, but instead Cayman is looking like everywhere else. Yeah, and that's what's setting us apart for this specific section of your conversation, and not a good way, because we are looking more like a metropolitan area than a Caribbean tropical island. And I think this is where the conversation comes about, Jim, when I said it the other day. We need to decide from a national perspective where we want to go, what we want to be. We need to know what we want to be, where we want to strategically be placed in the region, known in the world. Yeah, we're known for finance. Yes, we're known still for safety and all that sort of stuff. And we're strategically placed for all of the airlines and cruise ships. This is still a destination of choice should somebody get sick, because of our airlifts and that sort of stuff, infrastructure and so much more. But still, we need to know exactly nationally where we're headed, because when we look at our historic sites that are limited and actually disappearing, even though this one is not completely disappearing, it's being relocated. Cayman really has fewer than 20 officially recognized historical structures remaining. Yeah. We have fewer than 20 officially recognized historic structures that still stand in their original form. Yeah. So we are changing. And what we're seeing is that many traditional homes have already been demolished due to either, again, development, hurricanes, or family transitions. So once historic sites are gone, they cannot be recreated authentically. That's the key. And that is what is so sound about this, because with the exception of this wood on the side, which is to the right of your screen, all of what we're seeing is original wattle and daub. Original, and it stood through the test of time. It's 200 years old. Yeah. So we're working with a very small number of surviving historical buildings. And what it will take is really each one of us to really appreciate it and see exactly what's happening. But it's a delicate dance, because you can't tell people what to do with their property. You can't. Jim says, money speaks volumes and there's no stopping it. It's very sad how Cayman has changed, and we will continue to change, which is why we have to prioritize and know exactly where we're headed. Yeah. When we look at these things now with wattle and daub, unless it's really like in October, November, when we are celebrating Pirates Week and that sort of stuff, or you pick up and you read a book, these are not conversations that you really have. The average kid just probably sees it without knowing exactly how old the structure is and just thinks it's concrete. They would probably just think it's regular paint, cement that's painted over. And what these structures really represent is Cayman's earliest tradition in building. What they stood up to right now, modern day buildings, earthquakes, and that sort of stuff are actually falling away. And what they reflect, these buildings, is this type of craftsmanship, resourcefulness as well, and the lifestyle of our very own early Caymanians. A couple of these are in the BRAC that are still set. I think Elder Myers, not far from Mean Creek. And when you look at, again, these types of structures, original structures, they're rare across the Caribbean, They are very rare across the Caribbean, making them even more important to preserve. Yeah, because these homes, at the end of the day, will tell a story of who we are, not who we were, because it all depends on who you talk to. It tells who we are before tourism, before finance, before the modern key man. And anyone says it tells who we were, it says you are putting it in the past and no more coming back. This is the bedrock of who we are, not who we were. And I applaud the work of the National Trust. I applaud them for doing their best with what they have in subsidiaries that they get into to actually trying to preserve these things. But it's a delicate dance because development pressure is very, very real. And we see Cayman's population has grown significantly in the past 20 years. This house is 200 years old. We see continuously where the demand for housing and commercial space is right now at an all-time high, but it depends on where when we talk about commercial space. Yes. With everything going online, people can work remote now and all that sort of stuff. It kind of begs the question if there's really demand for as much commercial space as we say, so to speak, or it depends on where. You understand where I'm going with that? Because developers too often purchase older properties because they sit on prime land. We have it right here. We have it right here. So, of course, this location would be ideal, perfect for developers. We're holding back to the memories of who we are, not who we were. But for someone who has absolutely no ties, the opportunity presents itself for whatever happened, and the proprietors of this place has decided to divest. This is what happens. Because I can tell you from what I'm seeing, growth is not slowing down. And that, my friends, means more historic sites possibly will face pressure in years ahead. It is what it is. As sad as it is what it is. Now, when buildings, Damien says, when buildings are listed as heritage or landmarks, anybody that acquires such building will off to incorporate it in their new plan. They're trying to wipe away history, shaking my head. It would be a good idea to, because, you know, you're onto something there. But you don't know the plans. And like I said, you can't tell somebody what to do with their land if this building was not deemed a historical site. If it wasn't, then that's the only preservation for it. But yeah, I see where you're going with that suggestion, that idea, but it would have been the desire and the appetite of the new owners to have even considered that. I don't know what the future plans are, but it would have been interesting to see how it could have been incorporated into whatever the plans are. But of course, that's already through the gate and it's now being moved. Andrew says Bermuda and Curacao maintain a heritage look, which is important for tourists. People look for that. You're quite right. Kudos to them. Melita says, my mom and sister visited a family in the US that they made friends from here. And when they got into their home, they saw a picture of my brother and his friend on their wall that they had taken a picture of as a tourist and not known the connection. Parents tied up with string and barefoot. They gave, oh, really? Now look at that. Who would ever told? Who? You see, the universe has a way of pulling us together. I don't care what people think about me when I drop that line, but it's true. The universe has a way of pulling people together. Good evening, Miss Lucille. All the best to you over there in the UK. I miss you. do that to me. You making me worried. You all stay safe. Yes. All love to you, my love. Enjoy the weekend. Live Happy says, we must encourage each other to build homes with the traditional feature. We live on islands. Now tell me, why would you need a swimming pool? Some people afraid of water. The sea. Some people afraid of fish. I don't know. But you have a right to ask that question. It's all the amenities, and I guess it comes with modernization as well. The question is, why do we need a swimming pool with the 6 foot right away? That's going into a different topic, but I get exactly where you're going with that, Live Happy. With the limited access to beaches now, which I see from my government straight to this current administration, they were trying to secure access to beach properties, and so that people will feel as though they have a place to go to have access to the sea. But here you go. You see an active campaign right now that is ongoing with preserving our beach access that are being blocked, obstructed based on development. And here we are. We are fighting for that. So I guess that's the birth. You don't fight if you got it into your own home. Does that mean then that we're giving up? That we're giving up our right? Live Happy? Let me tell you something. Yeah. And further, for those who complain about flood, your house should be built on stilts. Yes. You know, I understood that from some older people, Live Happy, why the houses were built on stilts, because it kept the house cooler. There was something to do back in the days with keeping them cool. Yes. And of course, from the tides, yes. But now we're seeing where poor drainage developments and a lag in planning legislation that forces infrastructure to be put in before developments to avoid flooding of places that have already been constructed is still a little wide open. Well, not a little wide open, wide open. And that also needs to be addressed. Therefore, putting a lot of the strain then on government. But should it be borne to both parties? Should it be a joint partnership? But what should be done is clear outline wording in legislation that any development that comes afterwards should ensure that some sort of stormwater runoff management is done either in partnership with the government so that it does not flood out persons in the who they came and found. And that, my friends, is not still cleared or specifically into the law. Melita says, I'd rather the island look. It does something for you mentally, for true. But even now, if you look at even all the colors inside homes, everybody's going to white, cream, bone, solid. There's no color. And there was something that I was reading the other day, Melita, that with this clean, minimalist, modern, no color, that shows wealth. That shows a higher worth versus something with bright colors, even though it's vibrant. And there is a sense, it brings a feeling over you. It actually devalues. Yeah, I was reading an article on that. And it shows like an income bracket where wealth is displayed by no color, just plain. And then something is cheapened when it's enhanced with colors. And oh, yeah, that's how we've shifted. That's how we've shifted. So I don't know if that's where we're going. We were flat before, and before Mount Trashmore. And I can remember all of the buildings pretty much on the waterfront were pretty much white. And they were saying something, I stand to be corrected, but that was to help our sailors and stuff to be able to see us, because you had to literally be right up on the Cayman Islands to have seen it before, because we're not mountainous. And there was something with the white buildings, especially on the shores, that you could see that from a further distance away. I stand to be corrected. I'm not someone who's out there in the Marines, but it was something with that with why we were white. But now everything is high-rised and stuff, so you don't have to be right up on us to see us anymore. With the competition of Mount Trashmore and some other 10, 15 store buildings, whatever height we're going to go, that's going to change that narrative. Yes, yes, yes. Jim says there are people from other countries who love to see this growth on island. Why? More jobs and more of their own nationals having the opportunity to come here. Truth is, they don't really care how Cayman is shaping. Their plan is not to remain. It's jobs and money for them. Well said. And you could, Jim, I would agree with you. Some actually look at this as an investment opportunity, a safe haven, a retirement package to build on their wealth, an investment haven. But can you wrong them? Can you wrong them when we say we're a financial jurisdiction? A lot of our monies make on finance, what monies we make from banking, that sort of stuff. And that in itself brings a certain level of individuals who see opportunities. They invest, and in that investment, they look for returns. And those returns could come, and investments could come from purchasing and developing, purchasing land, developing, creating businesses where they see a gap that the average person wouldn't normally see, and all of that sort of stuff. So at the end of the day, you can't wrong them because we have created that environment. We have not put enough belts and braces then on legislation that would actually protect. But we're seeing it now. We see authors are writing about it, that they had these things years in advance that is now coming to fruition now. So if we've created that environment for what you have said here, who's really to get it in check? I don't want to use the word blame because we're not pointing the fingers. At some point in time, you had to look at how we could keep monies flowing in order to keep our country, people employed, create opportunities, that sort of stuff. And we can debate whether or not our people were left behind. I don't even think that's a debate. I think we were moving so fast and we didn't realize how our people are being left behind, or were left behind, are left behind. And this is why now we're grappling with situations like this, as you've alluded to. Wake up, Cayman. How are you, my dear? Everyone has a vision for Cayman, and they want their vision to be the chosen one. It's like a tug of war. Too many visions is running Cayman. As investors arrive, they want Cayman to look like their home. Yeah, and this is why, from a national perspective, Wake Up Cayman, we have said that here in a number of episodes. We need to know where we're going as a jurisdiction. Nationally, where do we want to go? Get investments, get buy-in from members of civil society, every walk of life, to share in that new vision moving forward. Outside of that, exactly what you have said here, Wake Up Cayman, will be our outcome. Some may say, well, Christ, it's too late now. Look at there. 200 structure being removed. Couldn't stop that. This is just an example. This is not the exact or the perfect situation, right? But it is still one that is sound. And that's what sparked the conversation. So unless we know exactly where we want to go, and every citizen has an opportunity to weigh in on our trajectory, our future, and get all ages at the table, because we are building or preparing the future for the young men and women that are coming after us. So it shouldn't be anything that is so rigid that only a certain age group is making this decision, because at this age, people say, yes, Sabrina, you're still young. But what I may see as a good thing right now at age 51, I asked my 25-year-old, I asked my 30-year-old, where do they see, what would they want for their children? It could be something totally different. And this is why you have a good spread of representation, I feel, at all levels when it comes to building national projections, that you have true representation at the table from all levels. Because at the end of the day, my chapter soon close. Some of them who are making decisions right now, their chapters have closed, but they're still there holding on. Their chapters are closing, and they're still just thinking in a mindset that is for what's ingrained in them. And not everybody are visionaries, and not everybody wants to listen either. Melita says, not me. Pure ocean colors for me. There you go. Down to beach color for me. Plastic, fantastic. Natural tones and minimalism is as seen as very chic. Loud colors are viewed as, yes. I know I read that somewhere, I saw it somewhere. And it's true because it sells. When you see these properties even listed right now, which one are you more drawn to? The one with the lighter tones or the brighter tones? And I'm wondering if that isn't really something that has played in because it gets you in familiarity. So it's interesting how it's definitely changing. Damian Henry says, listed buildings are legally protected in the UK due to their special architectural and historical importance, with strict regulations preventing unauthorized altercations or demolitions. Any material changes, such as replacing windows, changing interior layout, or installing new fixtures require consent. Yeah. I don't agree myself. I love color. Yeah, it is quite. Thank you for that, for your comment. And Damian Henry, you're quite right. That's how it is. But I think we have certain legislations too in planning that any modifications, not necessarily it's for retrofit, but that's more looking at fire up to building codes right now. And this is why retrofitting, let's say one of the buildings in town that were built a long time ago, can cost some serious money now, because any type of altercation or that you're doing inside now to try and accommodate that, maybe you want to do a stud wall or something like that, sprinkler heads, the fire system, the plumbing, all that sort of stuff, they were there from day of Noah. And it could cost you a pretty penny. That's to say outside now being changed, it's a little different, but I get your point, Damien. Jim says, I'm not wondering, I'm not wrong. Okay, I'm not wronging them. It's just disappointing to see the direction Cayman has allowed. Yeah, I got you from the beginning, Jimbo. I got you. Melita, we need to step up and step in. Some people, Melita, may think it's too late. Some people may think it's too late. Jim said, Wake Up Cayman said, true, Jim. They don't even care about culture in their countries. It's in their blood. Look at what they did to the buildings at the World Fair in America. They tore them down. The World Fair in America. Melita says, they want an island feeling. They need to make their minds up and realize what it looks like. Can somebody even see exactly where we're headed? I mean, it's so nice to look at some pictures. There's a particular page on Facebook where you can see the old pictures of Georgetown and certain parts of Cayman. And even there's a video as well, driving along 7 Mile Beach when Holiday Inn was there, where Ritz-Carlton is right now. And yeah, it's nostalgic. You go back, and I found myself even smiling because as a child, I could remember while watching that and didn't even realize I was smiling because of the happy feelings that it was bringing back when I watched those. So if I find a link, Old Cayman or Cayman of whatever. If somebody knows it, if I see it, I will definitely share the link. Jim says, I'm sorry, Sabrina, but it doesn't matter where people want Cayman to go. It's all about government and those people behind them with their mighty greedy dollar. People can voice their opinions, but does it truly matter? Not really. That's the sad part. And that's where people are getting politically fatigued, Jimbo. because they're feeling that their voice no longer matters after certain, after the election is over. And really, it's funny that you go there because we had a segment on that, didn't we not? Knowing the power of your vote and how far your vote goes. Remember in the early days, I did an entire show on that. That's going back exactly to what you're saying right here. Know the power of your vote and how far your vote gets you. And then people, what you're saying, people can voice their opinions, but does it truly matter? Not really. People is feeling that. And they're feeling that, who cares? They don't care. That's what we're getting. Andrew said, have we noticed what's happening with Dubai right now? People are fleeing from there who invested in all these high-rise because of the war and security. Tourism brought billions to their economy in the Caribbean islands. Looking at Cayman Islands versus the other islands, what makes us unique? We don't have rivers, mountains, or the best beaches. We are not authentic. What will attract tourists to come here from Manhattan, Houston, Austin, and Miami? Profound. Yes, Andrew. I saw that on the news, and the same thing came to mind exactly for the millions that people have invested in Dubai. And the sought after what they were doing with the tourism product was just coming back. And now people are running in the opposite direction. Now, this is why sovereignty is so important for this side of the world, for the Caribbean jurisdiction, because we still somewhat, when you look at this side of the world, is peaceful. We don't have wars. And this is why, we were calling for our leaders in the region, CARICOM and whoever else not, just strategically where we were placing. We were fighting hard to maintain our sovereignty and to keep certain behaviors out of this jurisdiction. But are we really losing the fight to maintain and preserve what we have as a safe haven on this planet? When it comes about wars and rumors of wars, we know for those biblical persons that, Revelation is fulfilling and what's to be will be. It's only a matter of time. It will get here. But yeah, you're quite right. We are not authentic. What will attract tourists to come here from Manhattan, Houston, Austin, or Miami? We don't have rivers. We don't have mountains. We barely had beaches. Thank God, whatever system came through the other day. I saw some images that by Royal Palms, Coral Beach, that the sand was coming back or had come back. How long? Is it temporary? Yeah. What makes us unique? And this is why whatever that sweet spot is, we got to work our tails off to make sure we preserve that. And this is why it's important that every interaction with persons who are ambassadors of our islands, persons who are taxi drivers, persons who are working in the hotels, the service industry, that's what makes us unique. And then we're saying, Sabrina, but that's not our people. They're not interacting with our people. Yeah. There's a lot that's going on. There's a lot that we need to do, because when you look at it through what Andrew has shared here, do we have the master plan that actually creates a balance, creates jobs, makes us unique? And when you hear talking now too about, remember, you have those people that are saying, let's open up business for Sunday. Let's do business on Sunday. Let's do trade. Let's party 7 days a week. That's maybe something that you unique, but can you demand people to go to church? Good evening, caller. How are you? You're live.
Good evening.
Hi.
Good topic.
Thank you.
Listen, when the tourists is coming here,
Mm-hmm.
and before they get here, they're told on top of the ship to not talk to the people, because the tourists is telling us, So they might tell them, but they're also telling us. Because of course the ships want to make the money.
Mm-hmm.
Understand? So they're telling them not to interact with us, comparing us. I'm not saying that some islands are not what they're trying to warn them about, but we can preach for our own island. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
But the minister himself is not talking to the right people.
Mm.
Forget Port Authority, because they're in a boat with themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But they're talking to the wrong people, because the tourists is actually coming off, because the ship is booking them,
Mm-hmm.
sending to buses, and then the people do not even know who they're going to. But when they walk off and they meet the particular people that they're booking with, they know who they're going with. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So the tourism minister got to talk to the real people to get the full story of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So what's
Wow.
happening right now? The cruise ships are booking a lot of excursion because they're putting the people in there
Mm.
so they can make the money and give the island a bad reputation.
And then the people are not they're like what you said, they're
You can
thirsty to
yeah,
interact.
you cannot even get a good morning.
Mm.
Like they don't even know that word.
So they just come off to do what? Just go to the beach and just stick to themselves and go to the store if they want to go to the store.
Beach,
That's it.
they walk up and down downtown. You literally have to jump on their back and question them. Have you been here before? Can I introduce you to the tour? Would you like to go to the beach? You literally have to jump on their back. And the results is because the ships are telling them do not even talk to the people on the island. So they're putting a fear in them.
Are you guys
The
having
tourism minister
conversation?
not
Are you guys having conversations to even come together to bring this to their attention? Because one person's saying it, not that I doubt you, my love, and I know how it works, right? But how can that be if they're still making Cayman a port of call and then
listen.
telling the tourists not to speak to locals or people who are on the ground?
We have made we have requested meetings
Mm-hmm.
with JE Banks and Mr. Ruddy. We have
Mm-hmm.
requested meetings. Understand? Because
Yeah.
no, they want to talk to people. I'm not gonna call the company name, but they already made. They are made from donkey years ago. So they're the kind of people that they're talking to.
Mm-hmm.
Not the basic people like me or any other person to stand up and have to deal with this daily.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have personality, you would never make it in there.
Mm-mm.
They're talking to the wrong people. The people that already made is who they want to talk to. You understand?
Got you. So you feel as though you are pretty much pushed aside because you're not of a certain standard, maybe in their eyes. So it makes your feedback not as valuable as others. That's the feeling that you're getting. Is
If
that
you
is
don't have a personality, you don't even make sense to go there because the people who walk across you,
no,
no matter
I
how much
mean
you
with the powers
smile,
that be. I mean with the government.
they're, not,
Because
they're, they're talking to the wrong people. They're talking to the wrong people.
okay.
They're talking to the wrong people. They need to come and talk to the people that's up front with the tourists as they walk. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure how we got a lot of repeat tours to the hotel is because of cruise ship. I'm sure of that.
Right.
I can tell you that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because I hear it every day.
Mm-hmm.
But as a cruise ship, they need to talk to the people that deal with this daily. The
Mm.
people that don't book on the ship and walk off and hear the experience and hear what's going on.
So when you get a
Not people that
customer,
they.
when you get a tourist or
Mm.
something that actually shares that with you to say, look, it's so good, you guys are friendly. That's not what the image they're painting of to us on the ship. We're told not to engage, not to interact with you. How do you guys respond to that?
And they tell us, and listen to me, they tell us, oh, how am I gonna respond? How am I gonna respond? Because what?
Yeah,
They don't want to talk about the government. They don't want to do this. They don't want to. How am I gonna respond?
yeah.
You know how many days you have to get a hand in the face and we have to leave them alone, make them walk around, realize that we're not what they're sold.
Oh wow. And this is being sold from the cruise ship, giving us a bad image.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. So we have to introduce ourselves, whatever, and when they realize, okay, these
Mm-hmm.
people are nice people, they'll come back.
Mm-hmm.
But before that,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like you said, good morning or whatever. Not even a quick, not even that.
Mm-hmm. So definitely things have changed then with how the cruise ships operate, because if it has gone that bad that they're actually telling people, and you're hearing these from more than one set of tourists, and I'm quite sure over different cruise ships, this must be something that's happening behind the scenes that our officials are not aware of. Something not
It
making
makes me
sense.
wonder. It makes me wonder who it is. It makes me wonder who it is that talking to these cruise ship people.
Mm-hmm.
They're representing us. So
Oh,
obviously they're not. Obviously they're not putting. They have to be put in their place that you can't be doing this. I mean, like I said,
yeah,
like
yeah.
I said,
You need to
I
get to the
can't believe it
bottom of
for
it.
certain
Hard
islands.
conversation.
But I can't believe with certain islands because not every island is safe. But you don't be doing that just to make your funds. No, 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 no,
Yeah,
no.
yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for sharing that, and I'm hoping that you guys get some success to speak to the ministers, because obviously, and some policy people will have to be in there as well, because when they have these big events where the people from the cruise industry comes and we roll out the red carpet for them, what discussions are being had at that
Listen
level,
to me,
and what
man.
you're actually saying right
That's
now
a
is two
whole.
different
That's a
things.
whole different story. That's a whole different story. That's a whole. Then listen to me. With all that is going on,
Hmm.
what's important is not focused on.
Okay. What do
But
you?
when we got to pay our bills to feed our family,
Yeah.
and then we ask for help, then it's cross a different road again.
But they may
You
not
understand?
understand what is causing the decline. Hmm.
Exactly, but we are to trying to help ourselves, but you're not trying to help us. Make it
Mm-hmm.
make sense.
What do you feel we could
Make it
possibly
make sense.
offer for to expand our offerings here? Have anybody even questioned you guys as to what you think could
Mr.
could be
Rudder
more
have never
offered?
spoke to none of us. We have to beg for meetings are there. All every time Mr. Rudder got in,
Mm-hmm.
we have seen stuff that made it harder for us. That's all. And it's certain drivers have done told him. Certain drivers have done spoke to him and told him said, listen, you have come to talk. You have to come talk to us because this is not working out.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking to companies that have already been built.
Yes. But all
That's not the people
sectors
you got to
need to
talk
be
to.
spoken to, because you all are impacted some way, somehow.
Listen to me. You know the only tourism minister, that had balls to stand up to people for the small man,
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Thomas Jefferson. Mr. Thomas Jefferson. He came out there. He told all them companies, he said, whatever your capacity is all you're allowed to get.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else has to be fed off to the small man.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since that, not another one did it. Not another one stood up for people like us.
Mm-hmm.
Not another one.
Oh wow.
Not another one. Ask Miss Lucille. It's online.
Mm-hmm.
Ask her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she did say that
Ask her.
that been going on for years, Melita. You're speaking the truth. No, nothing new.
Uh-huh.
I am not there. It is nothing there for taxi drivers. Miss Lucille agrees with you.
Ask her, but ask her why you say that's true.
No, she admits, she confirms that everything you're saying is true,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been
Mm-hmm.
going on for
Okay.
years.
And I'm not reading the comments because I'm on the phone. I can't see the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
comments. So
No, I posted it.
ask
No,
her.
I posted up. I posted up. It's on the
Because
screen right now.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
They're talking to the wrong people.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm hoping that we could really get some resolve, that there's more communication. And there's one thing about talking, but that you guys will see a
And don't
change in
listen to me.
behavior of the cruise lines.
Since we're on this topic,
Mm-hmm.
let me get into it this evening. You ready?
Go ahead. I'm sitting down. All
Okay.
yours. It's open mic.
All right. After COVID, after COVID,
Mm-hmm.
I went to during COVID, the last year of COVID, I went to work for Foster's. Okay, Foster gave me a job as a cashier. So because everybody said go back and work, I said, "Girl, you better go get something to do because you'll go crazy." I
Mm-hmm.
went to work for Foster for 1 year. Out of respect, I said, you know what? Let me give Foster their year. Out of
Mm-hmm.
respect, he gave me a
Mm-hmm.
job. The port opened up in March. I didn't go back out there till June. I'm on my third application. I can make a long story short. I am my third application, if not fourth. 4th. I have to double check because everything else went for 13. Right now, for the starting, Noel Chisholm and Riley Moore. But I got their secrets to them, you know. But the next step now for me to open my mouth, and then everybody can get involved. Folks and everybody can get involved. Right now, I went to the top, to the bare board, CC'd everybody. Why my application I got acknowledged, and they don't have no reason to deny me.
What
Understand?
application? What
Only
kind of
because
application?
I had a when I went back in June because I was out of the system. According to them, I was out of the system, so I reapplied. This has been since now COVID.
Mm-hmm.
COVID. Look, this is 2026. And the only reason they can give me is because I walk now outside. So
Mm-hmm.
what they want me to do? Sit down, wait for them now, and I can't get my bill paid
Mm-hmm.
because they would not renew my application because I work on the outside. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to get in my bed every morning religiously and go and hold up my sign
Mm-hmm.
while waiting for them to renew my application. Somebody already been in the system.
Mm-hmm. But because of the
Understand?
pandemic, yeah, it should be like a
But no,
reinstatement is what you're asking for.
but there's no other reason. There's no other reason other than me being outside with so many other drivers.
Yeah.
So many other drivers is outside. But what else? What they want to do?
Mm-hmm.
And they got drivers. They got drivers inside the port.
Mm-hmm.
That's inside the port. Also come outside.
Ah.
They got we have a numbering system. So the ones are 15. What they want us to do, stay up in the bush and play dominoes and make no money. That's what they want us to do.
So you then are housed by the farmers market.
That's where the number system go on.
Okay.
But because I did not get my application renewed, I've been coming out on the outside and making my money.
Got you. Yeah.
And that's their excuse because I'm on the outside. But that's personal.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the board and nothing else to deny me my application except me working on the outside.
Mm-hmm. So have you ever tried by
But
way
I cool
of
with
an
that.
appeal? Did you appeal the
Listen
refusal?
to me. I went. Did not refuse me to like that, you know. That's the excuse.
Gotcha.
Did not really refuse my application. My application been in there.
But that's not
But they
making
think
sense.
every
They
year
should
I'm
have a
gonna
timeline to respond to any pending application with a yes or a no, which is why you hear
respond.
Mr. Balika on here saying these things are not legal. They have a duty to answer make an official decision on any pending
You know what? You know what?
application.
You know what they want me to do? You know what they want me to do? To open my mouth to see what to say, what I see. That everybody can get involved.
Ah.
That's what they want to do.
Don't make them
That's
pull
what
you
they
out.
want to do.
Don't make them pull you out. But they have a
That's
right
not far.
to
That's not
answer.
far.
They don't give them a reason to give you a no when they
That's
have
the
an
only answer they
obligation.
got. That's the only
But
answer they got
they
because
have
I
to
working on the
communicate that
outside.
in writing to say yes or
I
no.
went to the board.
Simple.
I went to the top. I went to the top, and I went to the top, and then my last answer from the top was that they can deal with it right away. That's it.
And where's the official
That's it.
communication of the
I
decision?
CCJ, I CC Mr. Rudder, I CC everybody. Mr. Rudder asked me to send a WhatsApp message, and which is like 3-4 pages. I don't have no time for that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't have no time for that.
Mm-hmm.
So WhatsApp a message.
But
You have
today you have not
Go ahead.
get an official response from the board from your pending application.
Nothing. Word of mouth.
Well, that's
I walked in unexpectedly to find out what happened with one person and two people end up and all and when the confusion was who was approving the card or whatever. When the person was asked who was approving the card, um mm, mm, mm.
uh-oh.
That's all I got. Could not even answer to it.
No, but that's illegal. That's a
Yeah.
breach.
People
That's
people want me to
outside of
work.
law.
Companies want me to work for them doing pre-book, and because I can't come
You
inside the
can't.
port without an ID, I can't even get pre-book.
No, they have a legal mandate in accordance to the law to answer you and answer you within a timely manner. And if you have filed multiple applications, I am telling you, my friend, they are in breach of the law. You may bring this attention to the
I know one
minister
thing.
and the
I know one
ministers.
thing. They're not making me spend no more money. Renew no traffic and police record. I ain't spend no more money on top of that.
You shouldn't have to because they are
So, 'cause
obligated
they made
to
me do that.
answer
They made me
you.
do that about 3 times already. They made
No,
me do that about 3 times already.
my friend, you have a pending application. You are at the point now where they are entitled to give you a decision. And if that decision is a yes, it is at that time, if they so choose, a part of the conditions to that approval.
You know how much money I have
updated police
lost because
record
of
and
him,
this and that,
because of
but you
them.
shouldn't have to because your application is still legally in process.
You know how much salary I have lost because of them.
Well, you getting free legal advice here today. All it takes is one letter, legal representation, asking for the reasons and attaching all applications that you have submitted because the board has a legal mandate under the law to give you a response. You going about providing all of these additional information and still not getting an answer is unreasonable. Yes. And at variance of the law,
come fast enough.
contrary to the principles of natural justice. Let me tell you, they're in so much
Can't come
breach.
fast enough.
You have a right to go and ask for a current update in person and follow it up just as you have been communicating to them by email. You have the
And
right
I got
to follow
emails.
to my
I have the
email.
emails.
Followed to my email on, and the last email sent, I am asking for an update to my pending application of.
I
and
did
you
all of that.
My
I did
love,
all that. I
and-
did all that.
Okay, you have
I did
a
all
right.
that.
You have a right. It doesn't show that you
I
have
got all
abandoned your
them.
application. It doesn't have anywhere that you said you no longer have an interest, but that puts the onus on them to give you a written communication to the decision from the board. And even if it says it's deferred, legally, they have to give you a reason for deferral. And it can't be deferred indefinite. Deferred meaning they're
I got
probably doing
all
some
that.
things.
I
My
got
love,
all them emails.
you got that in you holding the handle and you don't even know.
I know.
You are holding
I
the
know.
handle.
They're trying to provoke me. That's what it is.
And we're not going to
They're
allow
trying
them
to
to do
provoke
that.
me.
This is your country. You have a right. And these are the things that we're saying Caymanians need to band together and stand in unison for. But what
But when
saddens me,
they're provoking themselves, you know.
But
They're breaking their own barriers. I
but
hope they
it's
know
your
that.
own, it's our own that are sitting on these boards. How can you say that we're
Exactly.
standing for each other if that's the treatment you're getting?
Exactly. The conflict is what it is. Because they shouldn't be employed by one company and sitting on the board either.
Well, there's another one. Well, we got a new administration.
Exactly.
These are all of the things that they have the right to look at. But your application, which is an administrative operational arm that even a minister should not interfere in, because you don't want them to say, oh, he's interfering with the decision or trying to steer the board in any particular way.
Because all this gone down to Bear Kenneth Bryan. Ask Kenneth Bryan. Ask Kenneth Bryan. Like they locked us off. They had a public bathroom for us to access. A public bathroom for us to access. They locked that off. You know what Kenneth Bryan mentioned? They can have to try to get one of them portable ones that put outside. Imagine. So we can use. I said, listen, it's easier for a man to go to the hole, whatever they have to hold out and pee, not a woman. Kenneth Bryan said they had to try looking to get a portable bathroom. Imagine a portable bathroom right in front of the port.
Oh, wow.
That's how far this come here.
Well, my
This is how
love,
far this come.
no. Well, my
Which
love,
which also made my bladder weak because of the shit that they bladder weak, knee problems, all that. Since it's been going on.
Well, I'm hoping you get a resolve. I'm hoping that I've given you the steps as to what to do. You can follow through with an email. It is 6:31. You can follow that through. And the good thing with email.
I did that already.
When was the last
You know how many
time?
followers I did?
When was the last time you did
Hold
one?
on, yeah. Hold on, yeah. I can tell you right now.
Because the first time you're going public on it right now is here. So I would follow it up with an email either this weekend or first thing Monday morning. Give it 2 to 3 days. Someone should respond to you before you even go in person.
Person as in what?
Like go to the office in person.
I did all of that.
No, I said I would still follow it up with an email. Give it 2 or 3 days for them to at least acknowledge it. And if they don't, then you can go in person. Because emails can be sent 24 hours a day, but we understand business days, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. Yeah.
Yeah, but I did all. I walked in. I tell you, I walked in. I walked in
But that's
personal.
not
I did all that.
documented, my friend. This is why we love paper.
I sure did. I document that because I went to the board. I went to one of the top ones on the board, and I made that note. So it's documented.
Oh wow.
It's documented. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You think I play around or what?
But no, I don't doubt you. But we just don't want them to say, well, you missed this step.
Because I don't stop at one person, you know. I make everybody know my step. I make everyone, so all my WhatsApp, I got all kind of stuff documented.
Wow. Well, I hope that you get a resolve. I hope that you get an official response and that is favorable. And if it's not favorable, they need to justify why it's not. And you still have a right of appeal. You have a right of appeal.
I warned about this step, you know. I warned about this step, you know. This particular step we take it right now. I warned about this step, you know. So they don't want to see my next step, you know.
Okay, gotcha. Hear you loud.
I warned them. I said this could be the next step, and the next step could be worse.
But we don't need you having anything against you because then your character and conduct
No,
can be used
it's
against
me.
you. You
No,
understand what I'm saying?
no. Professionally.
No, I got you. Oh, okay, I got you.
Okay. No, baby, they don't work my time. Hello.
Yeah.
They don't work my time. I figured that I got 7 grandchildren, you know. And I had 2 children, and I was a single mother with 2 children, and nobody was allowed to bring me down. I was able to raise them and got 7 grandchildren. Who are they?
But it's sad that we hear this from our own Cayman.
No. I'm bigger than them. I'm bigger than them, TD. I'm bigger than them. Okay, it's more than one way to bring them down. You know.
What do they say? It goes more than one way to skin a cat.
Exactly. Hello. They don't play with me, you know. They don't play with me now.
Okay.
I working from I was 13 years old, you know.
Well, you must have eaten patient pie because if it was anybody else, let me tell you, for the length of time that you have discussed and what you've shared here with us today, patience is something for you.
What do you say? I got their coconut tea waiting on them.
Okay.
Their problem can be big in mine when I open my mouth.
All right. Well, it shouldn't have ever had to get here. And I mean, if we can honestly say that we're standing for Caymanians and we want Caymanians to get a fair chance, the process is the process, and that should not be a decision, an answer officially within a timely manner is all the board has to do. They need to communicate to you a decision that could be a yes, a deferral, or a no. You understand what I'm saying? They're entitled to answer you in accordance to law. Yes.
They don't. This is one more step. This is one more step that I didn't want to do. I knew how to do it. So now my chance is even broader now. Because I got this far. I passed this step.
Okay, gotcha. You're strategic.
Hello. All right, Kitty. You finished that or you're not finished yet?
No, I mean, it's your space. It's your space. But thank you for
No,
sharing.
I thought I thought about the show.
Oh no,
7:30 is the what?
7 o'clock, 7 o'clock. But we got some
All right,
comments
let me
here,
continue.
I know that Denver is saying, let me go back because we missed some. Um, uh, Denver says, Rudder not going to help you. The foreign people from South Sound got him there, and they are not the most dominant person here against us building piers and
I don't have
accommodate the
to.
new ships.
I'm not gonna talk about. I don't know who South Sound is. I got one good friend that I can't let her down.
Okay.
And that no, I can't let her down because let me tell you something. She's from South Sound.
All right.
She's from South Sound, and I'm not letting her down.
Denver
So
also
I can't
has
I
another
can't put
comment.
all of them in the same basket.
Understood. The comment here, I'm a bit confused about the cruise visitors on the caller's comments about them. We are the preferred #1 destination for cruise ship customers in the Caribbean. Don't see that
Tell Dan where he works. Tell Dan where he works. You tell Dan where he works in jewelry. So yeah, certain ships can come to them. So
don't see that they wouldn't promote Cayman. Many of their customers are repeating customers, some annually, small
yeah, of
amount,
course.
but many returns 2 to 3 years. He also says, we have a serious problem with our taxi operators. So many are not Caymanians, and so many are dressed up in an appropriate manner. Hair not properly kept, beards not properly trimmed, just scruffy looking. That's a comment, because I know you can't see them.
With all due respect, public transport do have a leash on us. You work in the jewelry area, so you're that's different. But public transport have a leash on us, and so certain things that they would not allow us to do. I'm gonna give them their credit where they deserve it. You understand? So Denver is not mingling amongst the regular taxi drivers. I don't know who he's seen. I don't know if it's a public bus he's seen, but I tell you, public transport have a leash on us. So they'll remind us what time day it is. I can tell you that. I can give them credit.
Miss Lucille also
I can give
commented.
them credit.
Miss Lucille says, you are a Caymanian. That should not be going on with you. This is not right, Sabrina. If she cannot make a living in her own born ground, where
I
must
can
she
make a
go?
living. You can believe that. I'm just trying to do the right thing. I'm gonna make a living. Nobody that can stop because once I'm not hurting nobody or stealing from nobody,
Yeah.
you don't have no other rights. No, you don't have no rights against me now. So I can make a living. I'm gonna make a living.
Jim
That's explain to me.
Jim is saying, listen to Sabrina and do as she is suggesting you do. Even if you're
Yeah,
not
but
done it, it's got to be repetitive, and you have to become a peen in their asses, in their laurels.
yeah, but that's. I mean, yeah, no. The one other people I got to be a pain in the ass now is Noel and Roy Lee, because they're the only two. They're the only two.
Denver
They're the
said
only
he
two.
would
Like they
love to
got some
talk with
person
you.
against me.
Denver said he would like to have a conversation with you. And yes,
That's why I see him every day.
he says, yes, I know, but I see with my own eyes. You know me. So yeah, he answered that one. Oh, wow.
I see him every day. But I'm telling you, I mean, like I said, I don't like majority of them taxi drivers up there. But when they come to public transport, they got us on a leash. They gotta make sure. I mean, they have some work to do. I agree with that. I agree with that. But they got us on a leash, so they know if we mess up, we they can put us in.
Right. And Denver also says,
that's what I love.
Denver says our port is totally inappropriate for a cruise passenger. Many are very wealthy people. About 10% were not catering to poor people. Yes, many may have saved up for years to come here because they know about Cayman and want to come here. Yeah. So he says.
But I'll tell you now, Denver works in the jewelry section. So,
gotcha.
But Denver clientele different than ours.
Got you. Yes, it has to be balanced. Oh, wow. But I really hope that you get some resolution. I'm going to be very honest with you, but I think it sounds to me what you said. You have sent these follow-up emails and stuff and all of that. That would be my advice to you.
And I got my emails to back it up.
Good.
So nobody can question me.
Well, then the onus, my love.
Emails and WhatsApp to the board and everything else to go with it. I got both.
Well, the onus is now on that body, that government agency to give you an answer on a letterhead, not a phone call, not a text message, on an official letterhead signed by the board. Outside that, they
And
are
after-
in
and the
contravention
board- and
of
the-
the law.
And the Port Authority board itself talking to me and say that they can be dealt with right away.
Mm.
So there's no right to deny me. There's no right to deny me.
Denver says you must hit him up the next time you see him.
Hit them up on my hood. And right, I love you, Bobo.
He said you must make sure you come over and talk to him the next time you see him. Oh my God.
I'm all right. Tell me I can pull him in the corner. Love you,
Oh my
Bobo.
God. Oh, Jesus. That's why I love this space, you know. It's a good, you see, these are things that the average would not understand. This is very serious, but yeah, we can, and in your whole spirit dealing with this is just amazing. Some people would really have pulled their hair out of their head by now. So I applaud you for handling this the way you have handled it thus far. And I want to thank you as well for sharing it.
Listen, I got them where I want them and they didn't realize it. You understand?
I think that's profound, my love. That is profound because
Hello.
actually just listening to you, yes, you do. The onus right now is on them. And even if they say no, just for the amount of time that it has taken for them to give you an answer, they better make sure they have double checked the law to say why not.
Hello.
Because you're entitled to an appeal. So they unfortunately have cornered themselves just for the length of time they have taken. It would be in their best interest to say, yeah. And I can tell you why. Because
the next show, Miss Sabrina, the next show, Miss Sabrina, is I can tell you what they're focusing on and not focusing on the right things.
Gotcha.
That's the next show.
Gotcha.
Love you, Mama. I can listen in.
All right. Have a good weekend. Yeah.
I listen.
All right, my love.
All right, bye.
Sure, bye-bye. It would be in their best interest actually to say, yeah. I could be honest with you, unless there's something really damning and they would have to have proof, because the grounds for an appeal, the grounds for damages would be far more than if they were to say, yeah. If, not that I doubt the caller, but just based on everything that was shared, and they have not given an official answer to that application, it would be in their best interest to say, yeah. And this is by no means interfering the board. This is just common sense, because with grounds of an appeal, with the right representation, the claims for damages could far outweigh just giving a yes. And that's the big picture. Because the patience that the caller has actually explained and exhibited, obviously we can go the long haul. And at the end of the day, it's the people's money now having to defend that, when all that is needed is a decision. And based on what I understand, not being legal or not giving any legal advice, but common sense says it's in their best interest to say yes. Because from what I'm hearing, the calls and cause for damages could far outweigh them giving a yeah. Yes. What a shame. Anyone who wants to work and earn should be encouraged, not hindered. There you go. And that is the big takeaway. Fantastic. It's true. That is what is the biggest takeaway. that we're saying that we're pro-Caymanian, pro-Cayman, preserving it. And when you look at the composition of these councils, these bodies, these boards, they comprise of our own people. And like I said, there's a set of guidelines of how decisions and determinations are made on applications. In according to those terms and conditions, what the board has to consider when reviewing an application, that's their guideline for saying yes or no. If this individual is not in breach or falls short of any of those, you better come good to justify why it has taken this long or why you're saying no. And you can put it in writing. And if it is a no, it can be challenged. And you just need somebody to know how to put it all together. Yes, to defend an appeal. And let me tell you, it doesn't stop after the appeal. We'll leave it there because I'm quite sure we could get an update on this. Denver says, I know her frustration and many of my bears in the business. Some have even stopped working with the cruise port. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Yeah, Jesus. Keith says, hey, Keith, how you doing? Been a while. Voting is a waste of my precious time. No, Keith, we can't look at it like that. Oh, darling, no. And you know what, Keith? I'm hearing more and more of that every day. Voting is a waste of my precious time. Keith, the more we take that stance, the more these injustices will happen. What we need to do is to make sure that we create a space and environment that we attract representatives that actually stand on principle and really don't change after they're elected. We need to stop voting for favors. We need to actually vote for individuals who puts themselves available that can honestly do the job. Not voting is not the problem. Not voting is not the problem. That is going to be a bigger problem if everyone take that stance. But I respect your decision. Please just let me make that clear. I totally respect it. Denver says, yeah, comprised by your own people with no backbone. Yeah, it's pretty sad though. It's pretty sad. It's pretty sad. God forbid all cruise ships stop coming here because of the war. They probably have no fuel. What's going to happen to taxi and all involved with the cruise ship industry? Hey, I tell you what, that's going to be another, what the saying goes, what a sapapa. It's a Friday. But this is serious talk, Andrew. What are we doing in the event that this continues? And thank you, my WhatsApper, who shared this, which we highlighted in the news yesterday. I brought it to her attention that Russian fuel headed for Cuba, testing the U.S. back blockade. Remember, we brought that to our attention yesterday. It's saying that a Russian tanker full of oil is moving through the Atlantic Ocean and drawing scrutiny to see if it is heading to Cuba, a potential test of the United States oil blockade of the island, according to shipping data and industry analysis. So yeah, we're keeping our eye on that. I brought it to the attention yesterday, my friend. Thank you for actually reminding me. So it's obvious this is still coming. You know what? They say these people need help. BVI saying we are not going to break our contract with Cuba because we're a small island development state. We are going to continue our MOU with their Cuban doctors that are helping out in the BVI. And here you got Russia is saying we ain't stopping. The people need their fuel and we're going to head to Cuba. This is something, my friends, remember I kept saying here, it's on our doorstep. What could happen? And at the beginning of the show, I said, what we do in this region of the world, protecting our sovereignty, protecting our peace is critical. But we cannot put a blind eye to what's happening geopolitically. And here we have our own sister who's fighting, just waiting for an answer on an application. And yeah, that's sad. We need to remember the government works for the people. The people don't work for them. At Plastic Fantastic is saying, Andrew says, air travel would be adversely affected very soon. Well, I'm seeing where right now they're having their problems even before you get in the air, because right now TSA workers is going through some serious issues because they're not being paid. And airports throughout the United States right now are warning people. I've even seen people in the region, some news sites actually begging people to come out instead of 2 or 3 hours before a flight. They're asking 4 to 6 hours, because what we're seeing is serious delays at TSA's areas. And in some cases in certain airports, there are certain security checkpoints that have just been completely closed because they just don't have staff to man them. So this is something else that's causing another issue with travel. And then we're looking, yes, with what we're seeing, heightened prices for travel because of what's happening with fuel. So we've got multiple things going on at the same time that is impacting our very way of life and how we operate. And people have got to get to a point where they're not going to show up to work if they're not getting paid. Denver says, wish we could eliminate status holders from voting. Denver, where are you coming from? What you want to even stop status holders from voting? Really? And only have generational Caymanians vote? You would only have 17% of your population voting. Denver, listen to what you just said. Yeah. Or would you say, what about those people with status on the grounds of descent? What would you say about people like me? Yeah. Interesting, Denver. We gonna continue that conversation. Melita says, not only cruise, but also air arrivals. The planes need fuel as well. Yes, you're quite right. Can you imagine we have a confrontation between Russia and US in Cuba? We are just next door. Andrew, you would have to sleep with, those security straps when they're trucking stuff off the port, the vibration that we would be feeling here, my love, we'd have to pretty much strap ourselves in bed. That could be very dangerous. I don't even want to go there. And this is not to create panic or fear. Yeah, that. But I tell you right now, with what is happening, Russia keep coming. They say the people need the fuel, and they're actually challenging this blockade. So let's see how we're all going to come together, not we as in we literally, figuratively, to protect the sovereignty of the Caribbean, because that's the Caribbean. That's not Latin America. Even though we're a part of the Americas, Cuba is a part of the Caribbean. Yes, you can literally see the cane fields being burnt from certain parts, the east part of Cayman Brac. That's how close we are. So, any foolishness? Yes, there is a potential that we could feel the impacts. Needless to say, the migration again. Yes. Cuba needs the oil. Trump not going to stop it. Too close a relationship with Russia. Denver says, not all stand to be corrected, but I think you get my point. Yes, I'm actually jabbing you so that you would deliberately correct it, you brute you. I'm on to you. Keith says, Russia is going to take over Cuba. Keith, must be half hour time for you today. Oh, Lord. Damien, be prepared because it's going to happen. I don't know what is, but I know one thing for sure. You all cannot say that I have not been sharing it with you here. I know sometimes my news segments are a little longer than the traditional news segments, and that's the beauty of podcasting, especially if I don't have a guest. And there's a reason sometimes, even when I can't even pronounce some of their names, there's a reason for it. Because I alerted this yesterday. It's shared again today, which is an update, which means they're still coming. And there's more than one, I understand. There's about 2 different shipments are coming. Yeah. So I agree with you, Damien. Be prepared. Be prepared for anything. Anything. Yes. Andrew says, I cannot fathom one of them missiles missing and hitting. Jesus God. Oof. Hitting and missing us in Georgetown. Oops, sorry, we never intentionally meant to hit you. Another Dubai fiasco. Lord help us. Look here, we need a national day of prayer. We need a Caribbean day of prayer for whatever it is. If we didn't need him before, we need him now. Because I know some people are saying, we're fear mongering or may actually misunderstand what we're trying to do here. This is elevating talk. This is civic education that I'm trying to do here. And this only came about because it's beautiful open mic. We can switch gears to wherever we want it. We went from Louise Llewellyn House, preserving our culture. We went to architecture and structure and design and how the face is changing. We went then and we spoke even about this application process. Love my caller. And now here we are with Reality Still Talking. Look at how much we have covered in one show. Yeah. That's the beauty of podcasting. That's the beauty of creating and proving to you that this space is yours. Plastic Fantastic says the United Kingdom apparently has only 1 month of petrol stored. It could get scary. I wonder if that's why your prime minister allowed the United States president to set up shop there. Did I say that? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yeah, I did. So follow the UK news. You will understand that he changed his mind now. And he's allowed certain operations now to take place on a base that's British owned. Denver says, yes, 2 shipments coming from Cuba. See? Yeah, I said it from yesterday. Coming to Cuba. Yeah, one is on a Chinese and one, this Russian one. Yeah, but it's going to be interesting how we unfold here. And I'll definitely be keeping my eyes on it. Miss Lucia said, Melita Noel wasn't no good. Oh, Jesus. Here we go. And we're running out of time, but I can still read it. Melita Noel wasn't no good. From day one, I was going to dash a bottle of dirty water in his face on the dock. I would do it. I have nothing to lose at that time. I had no one to listen to, lose maybe a couple of dollars. I would have to pay courthouse and I would work to paying it for him. He's too dirty on that dock and I don't know how he's still there. Okay, I got you. I think we get the essence of thing. Yeah, Plastic Fantastic says, I think it was. Jimbo says, hope I can plug this at the end of your show. And if not, I apologize. Want to go on a treasure hunt this weekend? Really? Take a drive and head east. A big yard sale on Saturday and just past the district of East End. Tons of stuff for everyone. Well, there you have it, Jim. I read it out for you. If you share the location and the link below, even if it's after the show, Jimbo, or send it to me, I can spread it. If there's a flyer, please send it to me and I'll definitely post to, tell me about it. Tell me more. Send it to me. And then if it's anything, I can post it and circulate it for you. Why should the world be held hostage because of one selfish individual? My love, what a tangled web we weave is what I'll say about that. Andrew says, I don't have any bunker, Sabrina. We can't go underground either. Our water table is too high. I'm going to try and get one of them old bathtub steel, cast iron, to go under. Soon going to get a donkey, you or something else. Jim, it's Sunday, not Saturday. Okay, Jim, just send it to me. Send me the details and I will help you actually promote it, my love. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of today's episode of Sabrina Speaks. Yes, on this Open Mic Friday, it has been, again, another thought-provoking one. I hope that there's always something to take away from our shows. And thank you for being the backbone. Thank you for being the nucleus, the pulse, the heartbeat of this space. I want to tell you, I really do appreciate you for showing up, for sharing the link, and for all of your feedback as well. And I will continue to do my best here as we continue to grow, mature, and evolve in this space because I cannot do it without you. Please be safe on the roads this evening. Please have a good weekend. God bless. Love you lots. See you on Monday. That's a wrap for today's edition of Sabrina Speaks. Thank you for tuning in and for being part of the conversation. Remember, the dialogue doesn't stop here. Stay engaged, stay informed, and most importantly, stay empowered. We'll be back tomorrow at 5 p.m., same time, same place, right here on CMR TV and radio, where your voice matters and your truth is heard. Until then, K-Man, take care of yourself and each other.
That's it for today's edition of Sabrina Speaks, where your voice matters, your story counts, and your truth is always welcome. Join us weekdays from 5 until 6:30 p.m. right here on CMR TV as we dive into the topics that matter most to you. Catch the show live or on demand at cmrtv.com. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram so you never miss a moment. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and always speak your truth.